woman says, my beloved is like the Pharaoh's horse. You know, if you say to your wife, my wife is like a cow or like a horse.
Or what you just read, your belly is like a sack of wheat. I mean, don't try that, honey.
It doesn't work too well nowadays, but you can find ways to tell you. In fact, this is the picture of Solomon's wife. I don't know if you can see it there. Someone decided to draw her. So let me show you a couple of cartoons to illustrate what shouldn't happen. You call that aging gracefully, you know, curlers and cream and flannel pajamas. The estimate from the beauty parlor is in. You know, you tell your wife that, I don't think she'll be too happy either. Loretta's once $1 million figure has become loose change. That's just not the way to create a good thing. Now, this is actually one that is, when you look at the message, I think is actually very deep. Explain to me why you dress nice for co-workers you hate, and then come home and dress like a slob for the woman you love. It's actually, you know, that's what we keep saying. These comics are not intended for children. I mean, the message here, I think, is very deep.
The next most important need for men is admiration. And some men will actually put this as number one on their list. Men need to be admired, respecting, valuing, appreciating you, rarely being critical, expressing admiration clearly and often. Here's a problem with this whole admiration thing. When it comes to sexual fulfillment, according to God's law in the Bible, the only one that can meet that need for my husband is me. Correct?
Correct.
But this need for admiration is a real dangerous one. Because if I am not meeting that need for my husband at home, if I am not clearly and very often giving my husband words of admiration, guess what? Somebody else is. Some other woman is. And this can happen so innocently. If I'm not, last night we talked about making deposits in our husband's love bank. This is one of the ways, ladies, that we need to be very often making deposits by giving our husbands those words of admiration and praise. But think about it like this. If I'm not, what if some other woman comes up to him, even on the job, and says, oh, you always do such a nice job. Your wife is so lucky to be married to you. I wish my husband was like you were. We've heard it before. I've heard it before. I have very often heard women, when we finish giving these seminars, all over, women will come up and say, Pam, you don't understand. And they'll say it in front of him. You don't understand. My husband is not like your husband. You're very lucky to be married to him. But see, it happens very innocently. If we're not giving our husbands words of affirmation and praise, somebody else is. Some other woman is. And little by little, we are making withdrawals in our husband's love bank. And some other woman, maybe very innocently at first, is heaping up these words of admiration and respect and praise and making deposits. So while we are becoming overdrawn in our bank, some other woman is building up the account. You see how it happens? It can happen very innocently and very slowly over time. So as we talk about our husband's most important needs, these are ways, ladies, by meeting those needs, that we create deposits in his love bank.
Proverbs chapter 5, verses 3 and 4. The writer says, for the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. And we sometimes forget the next verse, but in the end, she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. So while it might make us feel good as men when women especially tell us that we look nice, that we're smart, that they wish their husbands were like us, we feel good, but remember, at the end, it's bitter like wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword, and if not, just think of all the men who've left their wives for somebody else, only to be very sorry that they ever make that decision. It's not as good as it looks. By the way, this is a bit of research. Second marriages tend to last less than first marriages. Third marriages tend to last less than second marriages. Fourth marriage is less than third. Fifth marriage is less than fourth, and so on and so forth. And many couples will say, or many individuals will say after the fourth or fifth marriage, that as they look back, the best spouse they probably had was the first one. So don't think that, if I'm not happy in my relationship, I think if I leave my spouse for my secretary or for the lady at the church or for the neighbor, I probably would be happier. Chances are you're making huge mistakes and you're going to be very, very sad as a result. Here's another one. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 15. Drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. That's what we should draw our happiness. Proverbs chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth as a loving deer and a graceful doe. Let her breast satisfy you at all times and always be in rapture with her love. I want to skip this because we're running out of time. Domestic support is the last one.
Okay, we're going to talk about this last one and then take a break before we talk about the women's needs. The last need for most men is the need for domestic support, creation of a home environment that offers a refuge from the stresses of life, managing the home and the care of the children. There again, a lot of women will say this is one of their needs in today's society. But basically what this means is, at the end of a long day at work, I want to know that I have a haven to come home to. I want to know that my home is a little bit of heaven here on this earth. Many men today are workaholics, not because they love their work so much, not because they love their job so much, and not even because they want to make money. But many men fall in the category of being workaholics because they don't want to go home. Home is not a haven. Home is not peaceful. The office is more peaceful than home is. The long hours on the road driving are more peaceful than it is to go home. I'd rather be here than go home when there's arguing and yelling and it's not a peaceful environment. So we ask many couples, if this is one of your things that your husband identifies as his number one need or one of his needs, ask yourself this question, ladies. When your husband gets home at the end of the day and opens the door of the home, what greets him? What is the atmosphere? What adjectives would you use to describe it? Would it be peaceful, calm, welcoming? The sound, the smell maybe of delicious food coming from the kitchen? Or when your husband opens the door, in fact, before he even gets out of the car, do you run to him with the list? Johnny got in trouble at school today and the pipe broke. And why are you so late? Dinner's cold. Is there a constant list as soon as the door opens of things to do, of complaints? Or is it a welcoming environment? So we really need to think about this.
Just think of Mikal this morning when we talked about David. She ran out to meet David and immediately gave him, well, not very pleasant words, let's say it that way. So if you meet your husband with a list of all the things that he's got to do and all the problems that you face during the day, it probably doesn't set the stage for a good atmosphere. John Gray, who wrote the book Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, says that we men need a cave to go into for a few minutes so we can disconnect with the world. Now, what I say to the ladies is give your man the time to disconnect from the world. But what I say to men is don't stay in the cave. Just go in the cave for 15, 20 minutes, maybe take a shower, change, look up your emails, read the newspaper for a couple minutes, whatever it is you need to do to disconnect from the world, but then rejoin the family. Because it's not fair to the wife who's been working all day as well, like you have, who's been taking care of the kids, who's maybe taking care of your meal or whatever, for her to continue to battle by herself. Disconnect from the world, but then reconnect with the family. But if you ladies don't give your husband that time to reconnect, and immediately when he comes in the house, immediately you give him a list of all the things that he's got to do and all the problems that you've had, he's probably not going to feel comfortable rejoining the home. And that's why so many men decide to spend extra hours at work. I mean, I know men who will wait until by the time they get home, they know the wife and the kids are going to be in bed so that they can have that cake, that peace. So you guarantee a place for him to come to, and they will be looking forward to coming home to. I'm going to skip this thing because we're running out of time. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 19, better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. Or Proverbs 27:15, a continual dripping on a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Here's a good one. No man, no woman has ever shut a man while he was washing the dishes. Which is to say, if you want your wife to provide that kind of a home for you, the best thing you can do is to help her. Don't assume that she can do all of the work and you can just simply relax and watch TV. The more you help, the better place that you will have to relax to. So we're going to take a break until about 25 after 11, so you can go to the bathroom, stretch your legs or whatever, and then come back, because right at actually 20 after 11, 25 after 11, we're going to give 3 books away, so only to those who are here. If you have your ticket and you're here, we'll give you a book. If we call your number and you're not here, we'll go on to the next number. So 20 after 11.
20 or 25? You said both.
20.
Okay, 20 after 11, so we're giving them what? 15?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and we'll have a first drawing.
By the way, if you have questions, there's a basket back there to put your questions on, and we will begin to answer them as we go through the rest of the day. You have to educate your children also to say, from this time on, this is mom and dad's time. Please don't come into the bedroom. Obviously, lock the door. It's not fun when you are discovered in a position that the children are not used to seeing you in. So lock the door, and if they bang on the door a few times or the first time, in fact, you should go back to them and say, remember that this is mom and dad's time. Do not interrupt. You will have to be disciplined if you interrupt, because this is our time. And we're going to talk about time later on this afternoon and give you some ideas about that as well. And some of the other questions we'll answer in our presentation this morning, in the next few hours, and then also this afternoon. So we'll go on with the women's special needs.
Right, so this morning we talked about the needs for a man. So now it's time for you men to wake up. Ladies, if they need a little elbow in the side, make sure they're awake and alert. You haven't had lunch yet, so you should be wide awake. So we're going to talk about the most important needs for women. Now, men, we want to ask you the question. If you had to identify what your wife's number one need is, what would you say? Chocolate. Oh, you're my kind of man. I love chocolate.
No, shopping.
Oh, I thought you said chocolate. I'm like, chocolate, that's the only thing that gets me
Shopping for chocolate. That's a bonus right there.
Okay, shopping. But remember, we're talking about emotional needs. Now, I guess I could argue shopping's would fit, but come on, men. What do you think?
Communication.
Communication?
Stability.
Stability. Okay. A number one need for most women is the need for affection.